So we're continuing to look at areas of compound shapes. The first slide here is just a quick recap on areas of standard shapes that we know. So rectangles, triangles, and then we've got these two shapes here, parallelogram and trapezium. Can you please work out all of these areas? And then we're going to go to shapes that are combinations of these. Okay, pause the video if you need more time. I'm going to go through some answers. So for question 1, we're going to do 6 times 3, which is 18 millimeters squared. Question 2 is a triangle. So half times 6 times 3, half times base times height. So that's 3 times 3, which is 9 millimeters squared. The third shape is also a triangle. So we've got a triangle which is half times base. So the base is 3. The height has to be perpendicular. So it has to be 6. So half times 3 times 6. I'm going to do half times 6 first using commutative law. So that's going to be half times 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9 millimeters squared. For the parallelogram, it's the base times the perpendicular height. So not the slant height. Slant height is 4. We want to use a perpendicular height. So 6 times 3, which is 18 millimeters squared. And then the trapezium, the two parallel sides are here. So half a plus b, so that's 6 plus 4, times the distance between the two parallel sides, which is 3. So half times 10 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15 millimeters squared. Okay, so now we can do that. Let's move on to compound shapes or composite shapes. You can call them both correct. We want to split this up into shapes we know. So there's a few options we have here. We could cut across and then we've got two shapes like this, or we can cut down and we've got two shapes like this. Generally, the method which is preferred will depend on the question, but in this case it doesn't really make much of a difference because we've got all of the lengths. Later on we're going to look at questions where lengths are missing, so maybe one method might be preferred over the others. I'm going to go across just for giggles. So for rectangle 1, we label it with a 1 like this, and then we're just going to say 3 times, that's the 3 there, and then that's a 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Now, remember, this is not drawn to scale. So you would imagine 3 times 3, you would imagine it should look like a square, but these shapes are very rarely drawn to scale, so you have to trust the units rather than what it might look like. And in the second shape here, we've got 4 times 9. So 4 times 9 is going to be 36, and we're going to add this together. So 36 plus 9 is 45. And this is an area, so it's going to be centimeters squared. Now, we're going to look at a slightly different way that we could have done this. You can't do this with all shapes, but with this type of shape, it's possible that we can. We could have instead just drawn or visualized that as a whole rectangle. And then we could have taken away this shaded bit. So if you treat the whole thing as a single rectangle, then it's going to be 7 times 9. So that's the whole shape. So it's 63 centimeters squared. And then this shaded in bit is going to be 6 times 3. So that will be 18. And then we can take away 1 from the other. So 63, take away the white bit, which has now been shaded in, which is 18. So that's going to be that's going to give you 45. So you get the same answer here. So you can be quite creative with this as long as you're confident of the shape and you're sure. So here's another example. Calculate the area, pause the video and have a go, and then I'm going to show you the working out. Okay, so step 1, split the shape up into something you know. I'm going to go for straight down. Now that means that rectangle 1 is 7 times 3, and rectangle 2 is 2 times 3. So we're going to add this up. We could actually take a shortcut here and notice that 7 times 3 plus 2 times 3 is just 9 times 3. But we're just going to do it this way for now. So this is going to be 21, 6, add it together, get 27 centimeters squared. The other way we could do it, we might decide to just treat this as a single rectangle. So we can do 5 times 7, take away 2 times 4. So let's just try that. So big, take away small. So that's 5 times 7, which is 35. And the small rectangle is 4 times 2, which is 8. So 35 minus 8 will give you 27, which is what we were hoping to get. Another way we might do this is to cut the shape across from here. So in that case, we've got 2 shapes. I'm going to move this out the way to give me some space. We can do rectangle 1, which is 5 times 3. And then rectangle 2, which is 4 times 3. That's 12. And that gives you 27 centimeters squared, which is exactly what we wanted. So lots of different ways, all valid and all important to remember to be able to do. Okay, here is your next question. This has already been split up into 2 shapes, so have a go at working out the total area. Okay, so first of all, we're going to just split this up into a rectangle and a triangle. So for rectangle 1, we know we're going to have 5 times 7, 35. And then we've got our triangle here. So the base is 4, the perpendicular height is 5. So half times base times height. So half times 4 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10. So the total is equal to 35 plus 10, 45 centimeters squared. Okay, hope you got that. Here's another question for you to try. Pause the video and have a go, and then I'm going to show you the answer. Okay, so with this shape, it's going to make most sense to split it down this way. We've got triangle 1 and rectangle 2. So triangle 1 is half times base times height, which is half times, now the base would be this bit here, and we don't have that length, so we're going to need to work it out. Now you noticed here that if this length is 8, that length is 8 there, then we know that what's remaining has to add up to 20. So 20 take away 8, it's going to give you 12, so that's 12. That's the base length of your triangle. And then we need the height. Now you're going to notice here that this length is the one we need to work out. Now if I know the full length is 9 and what's remaining is 4, then this height must be 5. So we're going to just label that 5. And then back to the question. So base is 12, height is 5. Half times 12 times 5. Half times 12 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Area of the rectangle is a bit easier. That's going to be 9 times 8. So 9 times 8 is going to give you 72. Total area 30 plus 72. 102 centimeters squared. Okay, hope that was useful. Now there are some practice questions here that you can pause and have a go with. You may need to work out some areas, but these are fairly basic. There will be other questions on some of the other videos, but for now, have a go with this. Don't forget the units. Okay, so here are the answers. You can see them highlighted. Second set of questions. Now, the questions I'm about to put up are optional. You may have a go at some of these if you want to. And I'm going to show you the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so those are the answers. Those were optional though. I think I'm going to put some nicer questions up as well. All right, hope that was useful. Smash the like button, hit subscribe.